No days off.
No days off.
Uncle Ed told me this weekend.
Ed doesn't take days off either?
Well, he said he never did.
Well, yeah.
Of course not.
He's a shell.
We're all entrepreneurs.
Yep. Well, here we are, podcast number 7,500. I'm kidding. Actually, I don't even know what number we're on.
4, 5, 6.
I think we're on,
3?
because we divided some of these into two-parters. I think this is 5 or 6, but it could also be 7 or 8. So anyways, here we are, podcast. Yeah.
You saw the Buckeye Country Fest.
What's going on? I went to the Buckeye Country Fest this last weekend. It was pretty good. Yeah. Billy Strings, I had not seen him yet. He was literally from the first note. It was like, it had so much energy. It was just awesome. It was really great. He was amazing, man. Amazing. Now I want to go follow him around because he's not really doing just like bluegrass by any means. The bluegrass stuff, he's a beast on, but he gets into this other vibe. It's almost like rock and roll, like more, it's kind of like, he puts overdrive on his acoustic and delay and kind of spaces things out. I can see how the jam scene would relate to what he's doing a lot. And I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Plus, he's like a 5-tool baseball player. He's a great singer.
A what? Baseball player?
Baseball, they talk about 5 tools. It's like, that's like the player that, did you ever see Moneyball?
Yes.
With Brad Pitt. He talks about 5 tools. So the Brad Pitt's character was supposedly a 5-tool baseball recruit. And I forget what the exact tools are, but I know there's speed.
I gotcha.
There's great arm, great bat, all these particular skill sets that usually like professional baseball players have like 1 or 2 of those skills.
I thought he played baseball.
Huh?
I thought he played baseball, literally.
Oh, no. No, but he's like a 5-tool musician. He's a great singer, great songwriter, phenomenal instrumentalist.
Right.
And
entertainer.
Well, yeah. And there's obviously, I'm just making number 5 tools up, but he truly is like his ability to like dominate the bluegrass music he does. And then you can tell that he's only scratching the surface of what what he knows how to do. Cause he gets into these cool little ethereal, like chord, solos that I'm like, wow. Like, I wonder what you could do if you.
Did he break out the electric?
He doesn't play electric. He's never played electric.
I thought I saw a video of him playing electric.
Well, maybe on a TikTok or something.
Maybe something else.
But never seen him. I've never seen him play.
But he mostly acoustic.
Yeah, he's
so
all
he's flat picking.
He plays one acoustic the whole time.
Does he not flat
pick? But he goes in between flat pick. Acoustic instruments are like, when you're going to solo, flat picking is like the obviously like I think the most favored style of soloing because there's no sustain like an electric, so you're
more control.
Yeah. But he would turn that overdrive on and he would rock out like an electric player.
I wonder what a string gauge is.
Oh, it's bluegrass strings. I'm sure
they're bigger, right?
Yeah, they're a little thicker.
Yeah.
But I was amazed because we were on the C deck of Ohio Stadium, which is the upper deck of this huge stadium. 115,000 person stadium. And you could feel and hear the bass like you were in the front row.
Wow. Was it packed?
It was packed. And most people were there, I think, to see Zach Bryan, honestly.
Right.
But Billy had his fans, and they liked him. But it's different, though. It's
Nobody behind him.
No.
Okay.
They cut off like the whatever that end zone stands are, because in the horseshoe, it's like the horseshoe, the opening of the horseshoe. Well, there's no opening now, but
Right.
That's where they're the stadium or the stage. But yeah, it was great. I recommend people check out both artists. Zach Bryan was a little more like a good songwriter, very good songwriter. But I almost really thought like Billy just kind of stole the show. His energy was high. But people were there to see Zach Bryan, so he didn't lack in that. Like people were singing along to every single song.
That's good for both because they're
it
very
is good
different.
for both. They're very different,
and the crowds are different.
Very different. Yeah.
But Zach Bryan did a song with Sierra Farrell.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no rules.
No, there aren't. And
Post Malone and Taylor Swift.
I think you're seeing country music start to get more that way, where it's like, it's kind of a, it's crossed into the popular culture in a way that wasn't the way it was when we were kids.
Right. It's not as
the only way that was like that for us was like Shania Twain.
Yeah.
When she kind of came around, and Garth Brooks a little bit, because he was
Well,
just
the Dixie
such
Chicks.
a megastar, and the Dixie Chicks. But still, even then, with those artists, like
they're still country.
It was still country. It was like, if you're not into country, you're not going to like these people.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like Zach Bryan and these other guys. I mean, they'll do a song with a MC or like or a pop artist or what. They don't care. There's no rules.
Lucas Nelson is very much in the popular zeitgeist, I'd say.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't get to go to concerts ever, and getting to take Aiden was really great. It was like, oh, this is amazing. But anyways, what else is going on?
Played in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That was fun. Me and Ben and this new drummer Nico.
Nice.
He's great.
Nice.
Learned all my songs.
Where'd you play?
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
Anybody that will learn my songs, it's very thankful. I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
Terrestrial Brewing.
Awesome.
On the patio, which I never played.
Great spot.
Yeah, and they had you could see the lake and the sunset behind us. It was cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, really cool place. A lot of dogs, always. But yeah, just a long day. Played at 9 in the morning, and I played at
week.
Yeah, 9 in the morning at the farmers market, and then 7:30 to 10:30 in Cleveland, and then got home at 1:30.
Never ends.
It was just long.
Yep. It's tough. This is the time of the year where it's like gig. Think about everything after you're done gigging, like in 2 months, But it's good, and we're thankful for it. And
Just wish there was a gig in November.
Yeah, well, that's what we're working on. So we got to figure that out, but we're going to figure that out.
House concert. Anybody want to host one?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, Florida, I think, is a really great option for
Yeah.
us. I think that's where we need to be doing a little bit of work down there. It sucks because you're kind of at the point where we have to like invest again in that. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go put the this is my first day on the job thing, or maybe that's not the right saying, but I'm the newbie, I'm the rookie. Let's go do it. Mm-hmm. But we have a lot of experience now that we didn't have even the last couple times we went down there. So as far as I think our machine is a little bit better. It's a little tighter. We have a little bit more songs, and both of us, I think we're both just better musicians. I mean, that should be what happens for any musician is like, oh, you keep doing it, you get better, hopefully, if you can keep putting the work in and the effort and all that stuff. But
yeah, when I went to Cleveland, it was pretty easy. No, not like a ton of nervousness and stuff like I used to have.
And people probably loved it.
It was good. I think that was good. It was a chill vibes, but people did come up and say they liked it, and you could see people mouthing along to the words, which is always fun. Not my songs, but covers.
No, I get it.
So at least you're connecting. Oh, cool. I can see they know this song, so I'm hitting something right.
Yeah.
And Nico was really like, he was like, oh, I like some of these songs. I've never heard them before. And he's 23.
Yeah, he's 23.
I was like, when I was 23, you were 6.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, believe me, I'm feeling the age lately. I was doing some gigs the other day. I did a private party the other day. I donated my time to this charity event, and yesterday it was really fun. It was a birthday party in Westerville, and I didn't know these people at all. So I'm going to somebody's house for a birthday party. It was like little kid, like it had to been like
a little kids party.
Yeah, maybe 5. The kids are at the age where they just go off and play. The parents all sit around and drink.
Right.
It's that kind of party,
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, they were really nice, and I'm guessing the parents were roughly some of them were my age, some were probably 6 or 7 years younger than me on average. They're probably 35, 35-year-olds. But anyways, they were, I'm like, I'm thinking in my head the whole time, like, I want to play songs that these people know because they don't know who I am. Right. And I don't have any songs that anybody knows because I'm not that guy. It's like, what I mean is like, I'm not trying to be the guy that's like, hey, let me give you what you want. I'm the like person that's like, hey, let me give you something you'll like.
Please hire me.
But no, it's like,
please hire me. I'll play my own music.
Well, no. It's never like that. I think what it is like, you can't lasso somebody in. You can't bring somebody into you, who you are as an artist, by pandering to them only.
Of course.
Right? Or starting the conversation there. You have to say, there's a fly in here. You have to say, hey, here's a really good song I've found that I like, that I've learned of this artist that you're going to like.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, they're seeing an idea of who I am through that. It's like me playing my influences to somebody and then playing my song makes them say, oh, what's that song? Oh, that's my song.
Right.
And then you've kind of got them. Not that, but you are trying to do that. It's hard. It's like...
What'd you play?
Well, yesterday I just played some covers for them. I played a couple originals, but I was tired as hell. Yeah, I did all kinds of stuff. Some Lucas Nelson, some Bob Marley, obviously. I did Tyler Childers. Is it Childers or Childers?
It was Childers. But...
Childers, whatever. I played one of his songs. I played, actually a couple of his songs because they went to the Buckeye Country Fest the night before. So
nice.
they were talking about Zach Bryan, and I'm like, I literally don't know any of his songs. So I sat through the whole concert, and there was one song I recognized.
Okay. And
I was like, okay, yeah, I've heard that song.
Was it the one that everyone knew?
Everybody knew all of them.
Oh, right. Singing to every word?
90% of the songs, yeah. He did one new song, so they didn't on that one. But otherwise, yeah. And I was just like, wow. So I'm going to learn. I'm going to at least listen to him a little bit and see if there's anything in there. But he's a very interesting artist. He's definitely a really good songwriter. He's got good lyrics. The songs are crafted well. I wouldn't really call him a singer, a great singer, but I don't think that really matters. It doesn't. And he's 28. He's only going to get better, and at that, he kind of sings a little bit monotone, But he has some. Actually, he has some. Every so often, he kind of sings in this lower octave, and then he'll go up an octave. I'm like, oh, there's where your voice. That's where your voice should live, right there. That's a great space. But who am I to say anything? Who cares?
Did you connect to
100,000 people watching him singing every word?
Did you connect to the parents?
The parents of what? Of the concert or the birthday party? Oh yeah, definitely. We were all chatting, and they were really, really nice people. But that's always the way it is. Like, people are people. It's like, you get all nervous when you're going to somebody's house for the first time to do your thing. Yeah. And then by the end of it, almost without, you're like, we're going to use our people skills, and they're, and people are just so nice. Like, they're just like thankful to have music and all that stuff. And it's
different than I think it used to be.
Yeah.
Before we
for us or for the world?
Probably before we even were playing.
Yeah.
It's probably more hostile.
Well, yeah, because when we were younger, I'm sure people looked at us like, who are these little scrappers trying to come in here, and what are they going to do,
Maybe, yeah. I think people were a little bit more harsh when musicians came in, like, what are you trying to do? Or play my song.
Well, we've experienced that for sure.
We have.
But I wonder if there's even like a generational thing. Now we're the middle-aged people.
Right.
And our generation is not.
We like music.
Yeah, we like music. We're not our parents.
And we're not like, play Brown Eyed Girl.
Right.
Because the older people will do that to you.
Right, they will.
That gig I did a couple months ago where it was like,
no.
Sweet Caroline, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, these songs are like 70 years old.
Well, not only that, it's a level of misunderstanding, and
then they wanted to sing with
disrespect a little bit, because it's like you're not ingesting. See, that goes to the core philosophy of what I believe. There are going to be gigs out there that don't work for me,
right?
And I am so happy to not do them, because my goal is not to go into a place and be like, I'm going to fit this square peg in the round hole, and we're going to make you like what I do. That is not it. I'm already doing that work, and we've learned this. We do that work before the gig.
Yeah.
By knowing how to weed out and or weed in the gigs. That's not a saying, but weed out the gigs that we know have the factors that are not our elements. I can look something up on, thank God for the internet now. I can look something up on Yelp or Google or whatever and be like, I want to see what this bar looks like. And yes, we are trying to stereotype a little bit just for protection. To get a vibe. But it doesn't mean that like we won't sometimes end up in places like that. But we do our best to like weed those places out. And then we want to start from a place of saying, okay, I can only get these people to like me. Mm-hmm. Not like, are they going to hate me? Yeah. And that's not a good place to ever be.
Well, a guy online, literally I saw a post today. It was a triangle. Good pay, good music, good vibe. And that was like, as a gigging musician, it should be two of those things. Yeah. Which I was like, that's good philosophy. Or I was thinking a fourth one is like, will it move your thing to the next line? Like,
this guy needs to tighten up a little bit.
That's a good little philosophy though. Like,
yeah.
I literally talked to Paul today about it. I talked to a booker today about it, and they were saying, "Hey, I got this gig for you," and I was saying, "I don't want to say no to you," but I told him about the post. I said, "It's got to be good pay, good vibe, or good music, or whatever." Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, I don't want to like disrespect what you're doing, but I'll let you know. Because I don't want to do that gig.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like ungrateful for people giving me work.
Well, I think so to that effect.
I'm too old for that.
There are people in our lives recently that have, you ever have something happen to you that is like kind of like monumental in your life, right? It's a shift. It makes you shift, a paradigm shift of sorts. That can be positive, that can be negative, but either one leads you to a shift, and that's a good thing. So it's like bad things can happen, but if it helps spark the change you need in yourself, or create change in yourself, how can that be bad if it's for the better? So my point being is like, yeah, we're just so humble about ourselves sometimes, and to a point of like, there is a place where it's like, okay, it is, it is time for me to stand up for like what I deserve, and I don't feel like I always do the best job at that,
right?
Because people's kindness is something that I crave, right?
Yeah,
I crave kindness from others because it's literally what I want people to feel the other way. Mm-hmm. I want to have that kind of a relationship. I think some of that comes from what you're talking about. Is like when we were younger, there was like a little bit of an edge with some of these places we were playing. We're like, oh man, are we gonna? Because we were just young.
They'd come up and be like, "Can you turn it down?" Or they'd stiff you.
Yeah.
Remember, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Oh, we're not paying you.
So
today.
I'm glad we're at where we are, but at the same point, now we're in a place where we need to push to the next place a little bit with some of these venues we're playing, because they don't respect you in other ways, which is, a kind smile, a kind relationship, all these things goes a long way, but it also can really stifle your ability to really prioritize your financial and professional goals. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, it's really hard to do what we do. Like, I'll put it this way. Should an artist have to play, should I have to sing 200 times a year, 4 hours each time, just to be on a living wage? Does that sound like fair? I mean, I will tell you from my experience, no, because that is a lot of work. And it's not just the 4 hours. People think, oh, it's 4 hours. It's like I work way more than that a year. No. That's the time we're singing.
It's concentrated work.
It's really concentrated work. It's a service. And
it's physically and mentally.
It's the least amount of time we spend doing what we do. Mm-hmm. The other time of our day is spent the booking, the rehearsing, the organizing, the administrative, the pay, all this stuff. We are literally a small business. So we're doing all of those things just like any other small business owner would.
But we're not getting paid.
Right. But we're not getting paid for that. So, nor do we think we should. We do this because we love it, but we're also not always great at advocating for the fact that, hey, you know what? Listen, like, I get that this is all you can pay. But this might be the end of our professional relationship unless things change. And that sometimes that's just a healthy thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And it sucks because there is a market value, and it's also why I particularly like to say, hey, listen, we need to get out of this market more, because, as you grow as a business, you have to grow, in that way. You have to grow in that way where the money isn't going to always be in your hometown, I don't mean like leave here completely. What I mean is like touring and playing in regional places and things like that. Those are sometimes the answer. Or sometimes it's just finding the other businesses in town. Luckily, Columbus is growing so much. It's a lot. There's not going to be a lack of like new businesses to make new relationships with. But I can't make 2010 wages anymore.
Well, yeah, and that's the crazy part is that they don't. The only person that's going to fight for you is you.
I know,
and they don't.
You got to get strong.
They don't. It's not that they don't care. They just don't. I don't think they do. It's not even like a mean thing. They just don't.
It's
care.
Not a mean thing.
They don't care at all, and there's no. 10 years ago, the same rate, without question.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's no.
Well, think about it this way: there's always an expectation of us to do or be something, right? We are a small business. These businesses are small business. This is contractual work. It's just like if you hire a plumber to come into your business to fix the toilets, but they're like, I got it halfway there. Pay me, right? It's that kind of thing. It's like we are actually doing the service we're hired to do, but we have all these expectations, right? But at the same point, there's never a reward besides like, oh, here, take a few little change. Like this won't even pay one of your, this won't even fill your gas tank kind of thing. Like I always think that the balance is a little unfair. And like you said, you got to fight for yourself. And I mean, there's just so many little things like.
It sucks that I don't think I've ever had a person be like, I'm actually going to pay you more this time.
Well, no, because why would anybody? Why would anybody? But
10 years of relationship.
But what's fair is fair. It's like, well, wait a minute here. Like, not only is there a cultivation going on here by us, by the way, like we work the crowd in the right way. Like that's who we are. We're gonna talk to people, and through the years now, there literally are so many people that come to this place that are literally only tell me every single time, we only come here to see you.
Right.
That's it. We would not come here otherwise.
Yeah.
I played the other day and by myself, and there were only about 20 people because it was 98 degrees in the patio, and I knew every single one of them. I'd had personal conversations with them multiple times.
That's when you literally do the survey and write it, have it give them to people and say, what's the reason you came here?
Well, but the point of that is
give the data.
100%. The point of that, though, larger is that what we're doing works.
Yeah.
It's like when we're doing shows, people are coming to see us.
Yep.
And then, yes, it may take years and years and years, but we are actually building fans.
Well, that's the thing that businesses don't understand. We always talk about is like, let us play here regularly.
Yeah.
We'll do the work. Yeah. We'll do the grunt work of playing for whatever, 2-3 hours, and we'll show up and we'll do it. And we'll provide entertainment and ambience. I was talking to Paul about it today. He's like, it's like it's of high value. He knows it. Like it's gonna bring people up.
Yeah,
it's like
100%. 100%.
Why aren't people?
Music. That's what music is. I mean, it
literally increases the vibration.
Right. And sometimes we get a little serious about it, like we are right now. But that's because any of that might be because of pure frustration of like we are. I think what I was saying earlier is like, we don't have anybody looking out for us, right?
No.
Like if you're a restaurant, you can at least rely on the fact that people are hungry and they always have to eat, right? Like I'm not saying that to diminish anybody. I'm saying like, that's a service that you're providing for people, but it's also a requirement for a person. We do music. It's a choice for people to hire us, to bring us in. Mm-hmm. And we have to advocate for ourselves strongly because of that, because we really believe that it does something powerful because it does something powerful for us. So it sucks when people don't believe in that or don't appreciate that monetarily or in other ways, respectfully and all that stuff. But it happens, and you just gotta keep moving to where the better places are. I think we're nomads, and we're always going to be, right? We just keep kind of trying to climb that or fight that battle, I guess.
That's why people tour and live on the road.
Yeah. But, you see it with a lot of artists.
Changing gears. Are you cognizant of trends? Speaking of age, we were talking about age. Like, is that something you're ever not worried about, but cognizant of, like trends and clothes and music and slang? Maybe not slang, but...
Yeah, no, I worry about that all the time.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. I mean, you're only getting older. I think...
What do? Do you try to just, yo, it's dope, dog? Or if you're talking to young people, do you try to speak their language and relate to them? Or
no, we're just speaking different dialects, and that's all right. I mean, like I'm respectful of younger people's communication methods, and I'm respectful of older people's. I mean, unless they're using some slurs or some shit, but I'm talking about like older people have their own kind of dialect. Like grandma with her,
Davenport.
Have a seat on the Davenport.
What's a Davenport?
I don't even know what a Davenport is. But, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't like integrate like fetch or ratchet. Or things like that into my like dialect.
Ratchet is pretty good.
But I don't, like, I'm just not cool enough. Like, I'm not cool. So that's fine. I accept it.
Right. What
about you?
It becomes normal though. Like this kid I'm playing with, and then his dialect is different, so I'm like okay, all right.
But young people are like,
it's great though.
Those are like, I think language is like such an important thing. Young people, like, that's a form of expression, but it's also a form of imitation and fitting in. Yeah. But also it's.
But he's not doing it to be cool. In
right.
Other words.
But
he's speaking
but also
language.
it's just language.
It's the evolution.
Like, yeah, it's great. I think it's awesome.
And he wasn't like doing anything weird.
Yeah.
But it was like there's certain phrases young people say like bet. I'm like bet. What's bet mean?
Yeah, I don't know either. Sometimes
it means like it's like affirmative.
Right.
Basically.
No, I know that, but I mean I've learned because I have
right.
I have friends. I'm like, I don't know what.
Right. What?
Say less. Like. I don't want. I want to keep talking.
How do I say less?
I want to say more. I don't want to. That one's a little weird for me. I'm always like, oh, okay, say less. Oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not offended. I just like.
No, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I was talking to our mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, what is it? Long socks now? Is that what people are wearing?" I'm like. Yeah, the short socks are
I get it.
Not cool now. The no-shows.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny how quickly they went away. But it's like, I try to like adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, I definitely do.
Because then you're not like...
But I don't go all the way in.
Yeah.
Like
20 years go by, you're like,
There's some trends that are like, whoa.
Not happening. Yeah, right.
I'm not doing that. Like, like the boys' shorts right now are really short.
They're really short.
And they're baggy.
I know.
Have you seen those? Like the short baggy? I'm like, that's so weird. Look. Or like the mom jeans are back for younger people.
And baggy, real baggy.
I just don't like purely aesthetically.
I don't like them either.
I don't think that look is good.
And we already did it. Yeah. I mean,
the boy short shorts like with baggy, I don't care. Those are fine. They don't bother me.
Yeah.
There's just, trends are weird, man. It's like, wait a minute, I just finally feel good about the pair of shorts
jeans.
I have.
Yeah, right.
And now you're switching it?
I know.
I can't do it all the time.
Well, the crazy part about the jeans is like, we went from baggy to skinny to baggy.
Right.
So we're like, we already did baggy.
Yeah, I'm just wearing the like generic like these fit me jeans. That's right. It.
But it looks better if it fits though.
It looks better if it's like I just wear the stretchy anything stretchy.
I know, right?
That's all I want is stretch.
I was trying to find shirts like this that are
You can't find them.
There's a couple.
It's the reason I don't wear them because I can't. It's hard for me to find them.
The Hurley brand.
Yeah, the Hurley brand. But there's a level of stretch now too. It's not always like.
It's interesting.
Sometimes like 20% because it's the material they're using. It's like we use 20% of the stretchy material. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think about it. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna be cool enough. So I just kind of look at.
Well, you don't want to be look like a crazy person.
No, you don't want to force.
Especially around like bet dog. Especially we're around young kids.
Say less.
Yeah,
I can't even
We're around young people, so
yeah,
it's like you don't want to look like a freaking idiot.
Everybody's younger than me.
Yeah, everybody's younger than you. I mean, well, yeah, just I notice it with certain people. But,
well, yeah, especially if you're teaching lessons,
but also just like I go to
you get these younger
Summit,
people.
I go to the Song Share, like they're all young kids. A lot of times it's young.
And you got
not all.
You got a young son. You get all his little friends, trends as well.
Oh, they're Skibbity Riz and
Skibbity, yeah.
Skibbity and
the Skibbity thing is funny,
hilarious. Oh, they speak an entire different language.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have no clue.
Yeah.
T-posing.
I don't know.
Skibbity is like from a. I don't.
There's some kind of like meme.
There's a
cartoon.
Toilet game. It's a toilet game.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't either. I still don't know.
These kids, man. These kids these days.
Right.
We have finally crossed into that.
Is there a performance that you... Oh, I guess we talked about that already. What do you got? I got nothing.
I got a lot, always. Let me put a little thought into it real quick. Well, let's see. I ran sound for the Ark Band on Thursday. Well, I didn't run sound, but I provided it. Pete Funk ran them. They sounded great. Oh, yeah. And Pete was pushing my speakers, as he does, to the limit. But it sounded great. Always does. Those guys are great. If you haven't checked out the Ark Band, make sure you do. They are like the legendary reggae band from Columbus, Ohio. And big shout out to them because they are like heroes of anybody that plays the genre or knows the genre around here. I'm always inspired, and like, I love that band. I think like they have it figured out, but also like, obviously, but also I love just like, it was fun to listen to them close up on Thursday, because you're like, man, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it right. You know, the parts are really like, when they have part driven stuff, it's like right on. It's like so tight, really well performed. Obviously, like Terry's kind of like, the drummer is kind of the backbone of the band. You know, he's the band leader and all that stuff.
I wonder how he must be involved a lot with the writing, because
they do a lot of covers as well as originals, obviously. Okay. And I am not sure what the ratio is.
Because when I worked with I played violin on a track, which is weird. And he was on the phone, and he was like, la, 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 la. No, he was like...
Oh, he knows. He
was writing, like, my parts.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, he must be, like, heavily involved with all of it.
Yeah, he is the everything for that band. I mean, he...
I wonder if he writes the words.
I don't know about that. I know Mark has a couple songs that they do.
Right.
But honestly, like, yeah, like, he runs a tight ship. Like, he does everything. Yeah. And, well, anyways, the reason I brought them up is because we were talking about pay and all that stuff. And I'm not going to divulge anything, but like, just having conversations with him is really helpful, because it's like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's really inspiring, because I need to have that philosophy. I need to have that mentality. That is like a scary mentality to have, you know, like just essentially only doing the gigs that
pay the amount
and or reward. Yeah. Let's just say at least like give you what you're trying to get.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing, because it's like, well, I don't want to lose work, but wait a minute. Yeah. Like, also, there will be more work, and people are taking advantage of me. So why would I care? Like, why I'm not going to sweat over like places that I lose that just can't afford me. Mm-hmm. But
it's hard to do.
It's hard for me to even say those words without feeling a little guilty, because we're going to always feel cocky or arrogant or guilty or all those things. Yeah. It's like, I've got to come to grips with that on my own and say, wait, and this isn't about that.
Yeah.
This isn't about ego. This is about, you know, a professional job, a professional service that I'm not even a service, isn't right. This is my career, you know.
I heard Christian Howe say that he's like, well, that's my daughter's college payment, you know. That's this, that's that. He's like, that's what I do. And that just puts it into numbers, because it is. That's what it is. It's money.
Totally.
It's not emotions.
Yeah, and you got to separate the business from the emotion.
Hard.
And it's very hard to do that, because we're like they're very tied together for artists, you know. It's like, oh, they don't like me, you know.
Christian House is a good example.
Yeah, totally.
He just asks for what he wants.
Yep.
It might come off as whatever, but it's like, no, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. You can always have a negotiation. It's like, well, this is where I want to be.
Yeah.
What are you willing to offer? And if it's like $50 less, sometimes you're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll make that work. You know, just give me a free meal or give me some whatever, you know. You can always negotiate in that way.
Yeah, we did that in Cleveland, and it was like the bartenders didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, here's your tab or whatever. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Which I hate doing.
You threw it in their face, obviously.
I spilled a beer right on there. I hate doing that. I'm like, man, now I got to go back. Or like, I was like nervous that the money wasn't going to be right. I had to go back into the bar and be like, this isn't right.
Well, and I think those are some things I've learned from Terry too. He's like really on the contract game. Oh, yeah. He's really on like all these things that are just like should be normalized for us, but we don't, because you know it's like it's time consuming to do that stuff.
Yeah,
you know. But sometimes it's just like necessary, but sometimes it's not. You know, like there are just places like I'll just say like places like Lido's, which I've been doing the open mic there for 10 years. Like you know. At the core of it, like at the core of like the ownership and the general management there, like, and some of the staff,
you trust them, you know,
most of the staff as well. Like I say some because they kind of rotate sometimes, but the staff that I know, you know, I trust them, and like I'm not worried about it, and they always take care of me. Like when I need to be taken care of, I know I can call them up and be like, hey, you know, this thing fell through. Can I book this date with you? They're like, absolutely, 100%.
That's great.
We want to have you here. We love you here. So, I mean, and that makes me feel very appreciated, like in the way that it's very satisfying. It's like, cool, we're good. Don't even say less. In that moment, I'm like, oh man. You know what I'm saying? Though? It's like, it's true. It's like, I had that conversation with Rue the other day. I was just like, oh, this makes me feel good. Nice. I was texting her about some stuff that was happening. I was like, I just really could use like some support. Like could you guys book me for like in the future for some things occasionally? Because, we like being there. We think we can cultivate some stuff. And like, honestly, like I want to help in any way I can to help do that for you guys as you're kind of shifting the culture a little bit and trying to, and 100%, you're in, of course, anytime, anything you need, just like, oh, that's great. It's like so stress free. I'm like, that's how it should be. I can just call. I've had these relationships with these people for 15 years. You'd think that everybody would be that way. Sometimes you can't, but
right.
But yeah.
Somebody gave me a $200 tip the other day.
Oh, awesome! That's very good.
That's never happened in my life.
Really? Happens every Tuesday for me. Mm-hmm. Just kidding. It's never happened.
Well, the great part and not so great part was that it wasn't one of my solo gigs, so I was like, I gotta split this.
Oh,
but
well, yeah, that's why they gave you 200. Hate to tell you,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Well, they put on the line because Anthony Jackson played sax with me, and they put Anthony. I needed this ball, so I split it with him. Should I have given it all to him?
Well, it's out there now. If you're in the band,
Anthony,
and you're listening to this,
no, he was super gracious, and he like gave me back the cash tips that I had already given him. I'm like, dude, I don't. But
yeah,
he's like the nicest guy. So
Anthony is such the nice guy.
He's so good and
such a nice guy.
I was like playing a solo gig at Combustion, and I was like, man, I need somebody to come out and play with me.
Yeah, and
so I was like, whatever you want to play. Whatever length, I'll give you this much for it. So it was cool.
That's cool.
It was just nice to have a guy,
That's cool.
somebody else there, and it really uplifts the thing. I mean, you play so many solo gigs; they're so hard, but it's also like you got to make money. So
it was just a duo gig.
It was a solo gig. I played 7 to like 8:30, and then he came in and played the last
I see. Oh, well, at least it was just two of you. That I thought it was like the whole band.
No, it was just two of us. So we split it down the middle.
Bad. Yeah.
I was like, hey,
that's great. Cool? I mean, $100, like
That's crazy. I mean, it was just so cool. It was a random guy.
Yeah.
Didn't even tell us, He just Venmo'd me and wrote the note and left.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know who it was.
Man, that's so awesome.
So that was cool. That's nice.
Yeah, that's really great.
Ego boost.
Well, it's like, I've been feeling really down the last couple months, or at least last month, about just feeling supported sometimes. Obviously, I'm not directing this at anybody, but I'm just, what I'm trying to say is that like, we can all get into those ruts where it's like, you have a few gigs in a row or this or that and the other happens. Mm-hmm. And if there's like 3 or 4 of them in a row that happen, you're like, God.
You mean a woman comes up and yells at us and says we suck?
That's one of them. Yeah, that was like that. Like that kind of thing happened to me like 3 or 4 gigs in a row.
So tell that story.
Well, actually, I'm not going to mention the place. We were at blah, blah, blah. But this person came up to us and... First of all,
I'm from Florida.
We're supposed to play 6:30 to like whatever. Like we're supposed to start at 6:30. And it's 4:00. That's when I get there to start setting up because I've got to set up a PA for this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much basically almost set up. And then like with at least just getting the gear out. We haven't sound checked. We haven't done anything like plug things in yet. But it starts raining and it's like 5:45.
Yeah.
And it rained until about 6:30.
We all had gotten there and just set up.
Yeah, and there's only one covered area on this patio, which is where the stage is. So all these guests come up and
everyone on
stand under the patio, and we're like, okay, I guess this is happening.
Yeah.
So then the rain stopped. Everybody got off the stage, and it was at this point it was at least 6:30, maybe 6:35. So we start finishing our setup, as you do. Like nobody's doing anything wrong here. We're just working.
Yeah.
And we finally get a sound check, and at this point, it's probably like a little bit before.
It's like 6:40 or something.
Yeah, 6:40, 6:45.
Yeah.
Maybe 6:50.
Yeah.
But, and this woman comes up right when we're about to start, like, I just want to let you know, you guys suck. Like,
I've been here since blah, blah, blah.
I've been here since 4, and your sound check is taking for everything. It's just horrible. I'm from Florida, and like, I'm like, what's going on?
It was a weird.
Who are you? And
weird.
Like, we don't start till 6:30.
Yeah.
And furthermore, it's
raining.
like 6:50.
Yeah.
And there was literally just downpouring.
Yeah.
Like
sudden down.
Like I don't want to get electrocuted.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Weird. Like unreasonable dumb person. clearly, but the fact that she tried to lay into us was just like, it's not shocking that a person would have that gall. Like, because we're not those kind of people. Like, we're nice people. Like, we're not used to, like, we don't interact with a lot of just plain bad, like, people that would act that way. Like, that's just, it's very childish, you know, it's very, it's just ridiculous. But anyways, that was what happened.
That was crazy.
So yeah, there's like a kind of a few of those that
it affects you for a while.
Yeah, of course it does. It's like, what did I do? Like you go into the guilt shame thing, especially, you know, but, I had a bunch of those happen in a row and I was just feeling very unsupported. But I mean, I know, like, you know, that's neither here nor there. Point is, like, when you have those moments that somebody like appreciates you like that, even as small as it can be, sometimes it's like,
yeah,
oh, thank you, I needed that. You know,
is the guy that works like computer coding? Do people come up to him at his desk and be like, "You suck," from the random public, not part of his job?
Yeah.
A random person. Does that happen?
It's really hilarious, honestly. Like, there's clearly something wrong with that person. Like, if that's the way they communicate, not like, hey, you know, I've been waiting for a while. Why haven't you guys like start? Even that would be like a little assertive.
What time do you start?
Yeah, but that was the reality is, like, you know, we don't start till 6:30. Like, I got here at 4. It was almost like she was reprimanding me because I got there early to do a good job of setting up. Like, you know, I get there early to set up.
She had to.
I don't start the second I show up.
Right.
And like, furthermore, there's times posted for everything, like on the website.
I saw the Bad
So
Friends.
stupid.
They were talking about Tom Cruise and he was being interviewed and they squirted him in the face. Did you see that? And
No.
And he was like, "Hey, why did you do that?" Instead of getting mad, he was like, "Do you like to make people feel less than?"
What interview is this?
It was like some France interview, and they were just talking about it, and they showed it, and it was interesting. They were saying, but it was really cool because he was just like very like, "Hey,
stoic about it."
Yeah, why did you do that? Like, and basically belittling the person without being like mean.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Like just tearing him down. Like,
wow,
like,
is that today's Bad Friends?
Do you like? Yeah. Do you
like?
like?
Thanks for ruining it for me.
Sorry. Do you like making people feel less? Then.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, what a good response. And just off the top of your head, like,
right.
Wow, that's a guy that knows what's happening. That's cool. Instead of being like, fuck you.
He is a pretty interesting man.
Yeah. But what if we had said that to her?
Well, it was too quick because she didn't want to respond. She walked away.
She walked away.
Her whole thing was like, I'm going to word vomit on you.
Yeah.
Where you can't retort.
Hey, do you like making people feel... He grabbed the guy's hands too.
Yeah.
Like a child. Like he says, like, it's like a child. I was like, man, that's great. That's a great response.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I know. But, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. It's like, you know, we didn't react. And that's probably the best thing. But like you think about all the things you could have done. I mean, nobody in life walks around just like ready to react to somebody treating you like that.
But that's a great thing to have in your pocket.
It is.
Because it's nice. It's
polite.
It's also like...
It's also a little more overt. Like, what happened to us took us like 10 minutes to realize what had happened.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
Like, what was that just happened?
Yeah.
Because it was so like out of absolutely nowhere.
You can't react to it, but...
There was no reaction.
I wish I had one.
Well, I know you, me, and Ryan all said the same thing.
But I don't want to be mean. You want to be...
That's what I was saying earlier to nice. You. It was the same. I literally just said that to Lindsay. It's like, in our heart, like, we don't want to be that person. Like, if the person that treats you that way turns you into the person they are, they're winning.
Right.
We don't want to be that way. We want to be nice and kind and giving. Some people are just in whatever they're in and like, okay, they got out what they need to get out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not okay.
Right.
But, you know.
You want to... But that was a great reaction. Is like, he basically giving him a teaching moment of like, what do you like doing that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But also
I love Tom Cruise, man.
Yeah, man,
always murdering it. Well, I don't know what else we have to talk about today, but I do know we have a lot of stuff coming up this summer. So if you want to check out our websites, AndyShawBand.com. What's yours, Chris?
TopherJamesMusic.com.
TopherJamesMusic.com.
Also, that July 28th, hopefully this will come out before that, but I don't know if it will.
Yep. And then we also have our, what is July 28th? I'm sorry.
The concert at the Bexley Community Center.
That's right.
It's a senior center, but it's like a community center.
Yep. And that'll be a Shaw Brothers thing.
Yep.
Check our schedule out at ShawBrothersMusic.com.
Also, AC Sapphire. That's the woman that's coming into town. I don't know if we talked about that before, but she's a friend of mine from song school, and she's going to be playing with us. She's great.
I'm very excited about that.
It's ACSAPPHIRE.
Yep.
Anyway.
Do us a favor, too, if you're listening or streaming on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you're streaming or listening, just give us a like and follow. We do actually post the video version of this on YouTube, and I believe it's also on Spotify.
Yeah,
you can watch or listen. But we appreciate the support. We're just trying to grow our business, and hopefully don't come off like arrogant guys. We're not. We really are much more arrogant than we come off on that. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're really just trying to pave our path. And now that we've had like enough time in the rearview mirror, we're like, okay, it's kind of a good time to start this podcast because we have a lot of experience and a lot of stuff we still really want to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
We're not there. We're not. I don't think we'll ever be like satisfied. Right. Just keep fighting the good fight. So. Mm-hmm. Support is appreciated, as I always say. It's needed and appreciated, yes. So we'll get that Patreon going if we can get enough likes and subscribers on this. And you can always reach out to us and let us know if you're, if you want to do that, if you want to join our Patreon. Anything else?
No.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace. Peace and love. Peace and love. What's that, Ringo? Peace and love.
Peace and love, everyone knows.
I love it. See ya.